Well, we are back for Vgtr Season 7, and this time we are on Imola. And as you can see, qualifying has already started, and a new debut driver has set a 140.8, about 8/10ths quicker than Mikko Raikkola, the current full-time seasonal racer. So we'll see how that gets on, and we'll see how good Tommy Lydon will be. And to my understanding, as he was participating in the 12 hours of Kialami, he is a pretty good driver, because he got us the pole position for the race. So I believe they will probably be able to take pole position here and most likely win. Let's just share this to everyone, and then we can have a look at everybody as it stands. Patrick Starr, also a long-time driver for the season. I feel like it is much louder. I feel like these onboards are much louder than I am, so I'm going to turn them down a slight little bit, because I can't even hear myself at some points. Right, Tommy Lydon, he is doing a purple lap by about a 10th right now. His current best time being a 140.8. Here he's set to do a 140.7 if he's able to continue the streak of good times. He's got his lights turned on, Mata style, trying to extract every possible 10th out of that car, and well, he's a pretty good expert on the Audi, and well, there he is, going to be coming across the line now to set his final, or maybe third time off this qualifying, and it's a 140.6, so I don't think he's got any sort of competition from anybody so far. Mikko Raikkola currently taking second place with a 141.6, so he's already a whole second down on Tommy Lydon. Tommy Lydon's still going purple this lap. He's just trying to dominate this race as much as he can. Mohamed Irfan taking third place with a 141.7, and same Wilson Fernandez taking fourth place ahead of Abe Santama with 141.8, whereas Abe only able to set a 142.0. And then there is a massive gap from Abe to Ferdi Jeramadhan, a 143.0, a whole second gap. So you can see the biggest gaps there being from Tommy to Mikko and from Ferdi to Abe. So very, very weird. Yeah, it is a bit Spain minus the S indeed, as Tommy Lydon is going to go 2/10ths quicker this lap. He's going to come across the line and it will be most likely a 140.4, and it is a 140.427. Easily beaten out his competition. And And he's back in the pits to rest a little bit, as Abe Santama did finally get into the 141s with a 141.5. Still not enough to get ahead of Wilson Fernandez, who improved by about 4/10, and he's up into second place alongside Tommy Lydon. Mika Raikkola currently falling down the order. Same with Mohammed Irfan. Both going down. Was talking about myself, watching from the couch today. Well, I think that's pretty good. You know, watching from the couch instead of playing from the couch. It's not really a negative. But there are 33 drivers today, nevertheless. Even though the race was moved from the normal Saturday to a Sunday. As the two Vgtr eSport cars come out, I think that was most likely Eric Gazelle, sorry. Or it might have been Camille Taha, but they're currently in the pits. Demon Adiasta was going 5/10 quicker, now an invalid lap. And we'll pull over to the side off the road to maybe retweak their setup and try and get everything back into shape. Patrick Starr going 5/10 quicker this lap. This will put them a couple of positions up, but that's for sure. With a 142.6 predicted, this will put them in about 8th place if they're able to finish this lap, and it puts them into 8th actually. So 142.5. Tommy Lydon coming out of the pits as well. Might be thinking of doing a better lap. Mika Raikkola going 1/10 quicker this lap already, and maybe they'll go ahead of Abe Santama, because they are pretty close in the championship right now. And yes, Mika Raikkola takes 3rd place ahead of Abe Santama, and actually Mika Raikkola is 6 points behind Abe Santama in the championship right now. Sadly, we won't be seeing Ben Langford today. So it's most likely that they'll be out of the championship, or at least out of the championship race. And Mika Raikkola still going a 10th quicker here. Might want to get ahead of Wilson Fernandez to put a bit of a gap between himself and Abe Santama. Anthony Camacho going 5/10 quicker this lap as well. That BMW pretty overpowered on this track. Coming up towards Aqua Minerale, the double right-hander, the one that's quite easy to get wrong and quite easy to not be too consistent at, but Anthony Camacho handling it pretty well over there, going over all the curbs. And this is why the BMW is so good on this track, because it's able to handle these curbs like it's absolutely nothing. And there you go, 6/10 improvement already. Going to be coming towards the line soon, and can it stop moving away from Anthony Camacho? And in front of him also Tom Bartos is going 7/10 quicker in his Ferrari, which is a very peculiar car to pick for this track, but nevertheless able to make it work. And Anthony Camacho 8/10 quicker. Where will this put them? Their current fastest lap 144.247, and they're in 13th place now, and Tom Bartos will follow closely. 8/10 quicker, 143.8. This will put them in 143.1 and up into 10th place in the top 10 of all the cool kids. As Michael Malajek also now 7/10 quicker than his 144.3. see where that ends them up, as Wilson Fernandez not going too quick right now, but Michael Malajek is going quicker, and he's going 8/10ths quicker, and he's not invalidated it so far, and won't be able to invalidate it on the straight. 7/10ths quicker from 20th up into 17th place. It's a pretty good improvement for the BMW driver. Jan Philips-Sebay also going 7/10ths quicker. Go Academy. An Academy team, what? Well, I'm not sure. Actually, Academy team's going pretty fine right now, aren't they? Anthony Camacho up there. Who else is Academy team? Ah, that's it. Pacholo isn't there. You're not there. Samil isn't there. For the win, yeah. Okay, I was about to say, like, they're fine. But yeah, Anthony Camacho leading the way for the Vgtr Esports Academy team. Currently in 14th place. And then Jan Philips-Sebay will also be improving on this lap. They're going a second quicker. Will be able to put themselves ahead of Anthony Camacho. Maybe even ahead of Limpar Berthold here. They're able to finish this lap from 16th up into 8th. Taking provisional pole from Limpar Berthold and putting themselves up in 8th overall. Not bad at all. And where does Jan Philips-Sebay currently sit in the championship? Well, that's a good question. Currently, Jan Philips-Sebay is sitting way down the order. And actually, I can't even find them. They're sitting in 17th place. If they're able to finish this race first, they'll definitely promote themselves up the order. It's Rafif Prahastia going 6/10ths quicker. Already past one of the worst parts of this track, the chicane, and now coming across the two left-handers. Also very easy to get wrong, very easy to misjudge where you're supposed to be accelerating and braking, but Rafif able to handle it pretty well. 8/10ths quicker already, and maybe they'll be able to take pole from Jan Philips-Sebay, and sadly not. They're in second place and 12th overall, and there is Luke Mason as well, currently sitting in, I think, 3rd place in the championship, or maybe 4th place. Still a contender for the championship, only 15 points away from Abe Santama, the current championship leader. And then Wilson Fernandez catching them up quite quickly. He's on 89 points, but he's earned most of his points from the Bathurst race, which he was able to win with a pretty dominant lead over the rest of the field. Damon Boss currently going 3/10ths quicker. I don't think it might promote them anywhere. Actually, might put them ahead of Elias Vesrum here if they're able to finish the lap 3/10ths quicker from a 146.8. And will it be ahead of Elias Vesrum for 29th place? And sadly it's not, but it's very, very close. Only a 10th gap to Elias Vesrum. Looks like qualifying starting to calm down a little bit here. Tommy Lydon's still trying to go for a more of a purple lap, and Abe Santama, yellow flags for them, and they've just started the lap, and I don't think they'll be able to do another lap, so they're going to have to settle for 3rd place, or even worse, if Mika Rakola is able to pull this one off. He's going 2/10ths quicker. He needs about 4 in order to get ahead of Abe Santama here. So we'll see. Maybe Mika Rakola will be able to spoil Abe Santama's day yet again and put themselves up in 3rd place ahead of, well, their championship rival. As Leon Ken set in a 145.3, and Mika Rakola only going 2/10 quicker right now. Will they be able to gain any more time in the final couple of corners? The double left-hander, they're going 3/10 quicker. And it might be a very, very close one now. They're going to be, well, McLaren in front of them, getting out of the way. 2/10 quicker. Will it be more? Will it be less? And sadly, they'll have to settle for 4th place. Only 0.08 of a second slower than Abe Santana. No, you don't have to be pitting. You don't have to pit this race, so you'll be absolutely fine. But actually, hold on. Mika Rakola was able to cross the line before qualifying ended, so he's still going to have another chance here. So he's not going to have to settle for 4th place yet. Mika Rakola might have given themselves a golden opportunity to get ahead of Abe Santana and are already going 3/10 quicker. Same as Eric Gazelle going 5/10 quicker. I was going to say 4/10 quicker. I had to say 5 in a dandy here. Might get themselves up ahead in front of Luke Mason and Mohammed Irfan in their first race. Went for option 2 with my phone thinking there was enough time when we left for quali. Well, there wasn't. And where is Camille Taha? Oh. Well, they'll be starting last, pretty much, as Dean Smith had a qualifying ban. Camille Taha starting in 32nd place, or last position for the pro split. But Mika Rakola out here, he's going 2/10 quicker, and I think this might be enough to even put them ahead of Wilson Fernandez for the front row. And we'll just have to wait and see. Mika Rakola 141.3 is the current fastest lap, and yes, they are able to set a 141.0 and ahead of Wilson Fernandez, and able to get ahead of Abe Santana. It was a good lap by them. So that's that. Let me just say, well, that is that. That is your grid for today. Tommy Lydon taking a pole position in their Season 7 debut race. They were here for Season 3, and they absolutely dominated it. Mika Rakola able to steal the front row from Wilson Fernandez. And Wilson Fernandez is now going to have to settle for 3rd alongside Abe Santana. And behind them, Mohammed Irfan and Luke Mason. Then Eric Gazelle, Patrick Slowick, Johnny Mannering, another debut driver on the grid. And then Jan Phillips, Bay, Patrick Starr, Ferdi Jerry Ramadhan, Rafif Prahastia, Tom Bartels, Limpar Bertold, Ganahari Hutama, Anthony Camacho, currently starting in 17th place. A bit of a lonely qualifying for them. Rogerio Santos starting in 18th. Behind them, Felix Palin, then Michael Malajek, Mohammed Bintang, Marcin Domanski, Lucas Van Dam, Robert Bezant, Miguel Astizaren, Leon Ken, Benjamin Bedolf, Damas Adiasta, Elias Bedroom, Damon Boss, Harry Clayton, Camille Taha, and Dean Smith. And that is your grid for today. Well, if you do have any predictions, you can put them in the chat right about now. See how quick or how close your predictions will be to the actual thing. Oh no. Going my practice time, I would have qualified 26th. It's not bad. Matas joining halfway through the race and winning it. Well, that is one hell of a prediction. I think Robert Besant will win. Well, there's a lot of predictions that some person will win. My prediction for who's going to win, I think it is this person out on track right here, it is going to be Tommy Lydon who's going to win the race, and you'll see why. I think you'll see why. The man is from another planet. If you thought Abe Santum and Mika Rakola were quick, well, you're about to see the wrath of Tommy Lydon. The absolute alien. Abe Santum to win Pro with Tommy Lydon crashing out. Bertold will win the AM. Ooh. Bertold coming in clutch from 3rd place. So that could be one hell of a story for sure if Bertold is able to win. This track actually having a lot of problems in terms of turn 1, lap 1 crashes, because there is a very big and high curb on the inside on the left side. So if anybody tries to go too wide, or if they try to take the curb, most of the time what happens is they crash and burn straight into it. So it will definitely be an interesting sight, and doesn't look like there's going to be any rain on the forecast, even though there was a very high chance of that. So the racers will definitely be happy with no rain. Someone will win, and we'll watch the VOD stream, guys. Alright, well, that is great to hear. In terms of strategy, I think there won't be any weird strategies going on, because the racers don't have a mandatory pit stop today. So I think most will stay out, as it is only a 45-minute race. Most will fill up their tank to about 70 to 80% and go full ham, try and get as many positions and try and stay alive for as long as they can. It is a long wait until they even start the formation lap. Most of the people already dropping their cars, well, except Tommy Lydon, who's doing his last little adjustments, trying to see what's up with the PSI, and actually 13 seconds to go. It is gonna be Imola round 4 for these drivers, and hopefully nobody has decided to not press start, because they will be heading out to the formation lap right about now. As Tommy Lydon leads the way, Mika Rakola following closely. And there, I mean, you can see that inside curb, if it shows it. That inside curb that Tommy Lydon nearly went by on, that one has those sausage curbs that all racers absolutely despise for its lack of safety. Even though what it's trying to do is good, but because it sends cars flying, it is absolutely awful. And this track is also pretty known for having some interesting starts, may I say. Nearly all of the Italian tracks in ACC actually have very bad starts. I mean, obviously you've got the famous Monza that has horrible starts. You've got Imola, which has those massive sausage curbs and people trying to go 3 wide into turn 1. And I think the only track that's actually fine in terms of starts is Misano out of the Italian ones, because it's so flat. No Matas, yeah, sadly he is not able to join this weekend, no matter if it was today or yesterday. He was not able to join this timeout. But so far so good. 33 drivers will be lining up and taking the green flag. Not sure how many will be taking the checkered flag, but hopefully it'll be around the same amount. I think I'm going to go for a prediction of 28 cars will take the checkered flag today out of the 33. At least going off going off the trend, I think it will be about 28 cars that will take the checkered flag. Hopefully it'll be more, but that's my kind of realistic prediction. As they do come now through the final sector, and they'll be starting to line up side by side anytime now for what will be their final moments of peace. Before the thunderstorm. They come now through the official last corner. Obviously there is a little kink before the finish line, and I think we should more or less be having a look with Abe Santima. As there they are, side by side, crawling towards the straight finish line at about 60 kilometers per hour, and they'll be waiting for the green flags to wave any time now. As we also wait for the action to get going. And the green flags are waved, and we are away for round 4 of Imola. And it is a pretty good start for Abe Santima. He's already getting squeezed to the inside, or to the outside here before turn 1, and he's trying to get Mika Rakola. There is Luke Mason going off the track, and a couple of people also getting sent off. Luke Mason having a terrible start over there. He's collided with Mohamed Irfan and Tommy Lydon already, trying to get the massive dominating lead over Mika Rakola, and Abe Santima also falling behind Mika Rakola. Wilson Fernandez was caught napping by Abe Santima, and now he's got a big job to do over there. In the background, a lot of cars going off in that little kink. Now, I think that was Damon Boz and Damas Adiaz, also Miguel Astizaran involved in some sort of accident, but here's Wilson Fernandez. He's going to be trying to get a better exit here, as Eric Gazelle is going to be following them. And maybe pick up the scraps if these two get together too much. Patrick Slowick also going to be fighting with Patrick Starr through the next couple of corners. Now, Wilson Fernandez, is he's too far back? Yes, he is. Luke Mason in the background. He's trying to get ahead of Eric Gazelle as they come through the chicane. Eric Gazelle actually able to take that chicane pretty well. And behind him, Johnny Mannerham now. Another super quick driver. And they're going to be locked in a very good battle here before the end of lap 1. Will Johnny Mannerham be able to get himself ahead of Luke Mason? I don't think he will, but he's going to be getting so close. As Wilson Fernandez is going to be able to get so close as well to the back of Abe Santima. And there he is, Johnny Mannerham, going to be heading alongside Luke Mason towards turn 1. Will he be able to get the inside here? Yes, he will. He's able to reserve the inside line before they even get to turn 1. And Luke Mason trying to squeeze Johnny Mannerham. And Johnny Mannerham, is he going to be able to get ahead of Luke Mason? No, he won't. Luke Mason able to cut in front and secure 6th place for now. Wilson Fernandez was ahead of Abe Santima for a little while there, but Abe Santima able to get that position back. Johnny Mannerham, he's going to be under pressure from Patrick Starr as well, as he actually dips his wheels into the gravel and having to go defensive here instead of trying to go offensive on Luke Mason. Luke Mason going to be able to have some breathing space, as Patrick Starr is going to be pressuring on Johnny Mannerham for 7th place. Behind him, though, Patrick Slowick pressuring Patrick Starr for 8th place. And Johnny Mannerham already falling behind Mohamed Irfan, having to try and make up positions there. He's down in 19th place, but able to get ahead of Leon Ken for 19th. As Patrick Slowick, he's ever so close to Patrick Starr. Will he get the inside line here? And maybe he'll try and make a move. No, he won't. But Rafif Prastia also trying to get a piece of this action. And Jan-Philippe Sebey going out wide and cutting in front of Tom Bartels. Not sure if that was a legal move. Patrick Slowick falling a bit behind Patrick Starr. Johnny Mannerham also falling behind Luke Mason. And Abe Santima also falling behind Mika Rakola. Wilson Fernandez, though, keeping a pretty close gap to Abe Santima. As Tommy Lydon says, the quickest lap time of the race, which is a 1:41.2. Pretty good lap time so far, as Johnny Mannering and Patrick Starr coming to, meeting each other on track. Patrick Starr taking the inside line, but Johnny Mannering having the inside after taking the outside, and ahead of Patrick Starr for now, as Patrick Slowick is going to be able to, well, he let go Rafik Prestia, so whatever happened there was some sort of collision. Jan-Philipp Sebey, yellow flag for them. Not sure what happened there in the background. Tom Bartels also coming together with Jan-Philipp Sebey. And Patrick Starr and Rafik Prestia battling. And actually Rafik able to get ahead over there, but he won't be ahead for long, as Patrick Starr will be able to try and get alongside here. And yes, he takes the inside line, but Rafik Prestia is going to have the inside line into Aqua Minerale. Patrick Slowick might be able to try and go around the outside here, and they make kind of contact. Yes, they do. Wilson Fernandez also caught in some sort of action with Abe Santama. Both coming together, and oh my god, Eric Gazelle coming together with Luke Mason, whatever that was. I'm not sure what's going on. Berthold up to second in the AMs. Indeed he is, and he's following closely behind Rafik. But whatever happened between Luke Mason and Eric Gazelle, it didn't look too good. Looked very, very scrappy indeed. But we can have a look at the battle for first place in the AM split, as Wilson Fernandez is going to try and intervene. Actually, there he is, Limpar Berthold. 3/10 behind Rafik Prestia. Rafik Prestia, though, getting the slipstream from Tom Bartels, and that Lamborghini having the straight line advantage over any other car. Limpar Berthold going for the inside, and maybe just trying to pressure Rafik into making a mistake, but Rafik not giving in too much. Wilson Fernandez following closely behind Patrick Slowick, trying to get those positions back from the collision that he had with Abe Santama. And behind all of them, Gennady Hutama and Mohammed Bintang coming together as well, but not coming together too much to cause too much damage. As Limpar Berthold still following closely behind Rafik Prestia. But behind him, Patrick Slowick trying to get the better of him. Maybe here on the inside, will he be able to try and get him into the chicane? Well, I don't think he'll get him before Wilson Fernandez gets Patrick Slowick, so we'll see what happens there. Limpar Berthold falling behind Rafik Prestia for a little while, but not for a long while, as he's only a 10th away, and he's going to be able to send it down the inside and able to make that move stay. That was a very good move by Limpar Berthold. And behind them, they're already forming a bit of a train, as Mohammed Bintang and Gennady Hutama finally coming together pretty badly, but able to get back on the road. And this battle continues, as Patrick Slowick now trying to get ahead of Rafik Prestia before Wilson Fernandez sends it on his inside. And will he be able to get the space into turn one? Oh, and that was a very good move by Wilson Fernandez, able to get ahead of Patrick Slowick into turn one, as Luke Mason also tumbling down the order for a little while. And yes, indeed, Gibson, your prediction coming true. Limpar Berthold already leading the race for the AMs, ahead of Rafik Prestia and ahead of Wilson Fernandez and Patrick Slowick. But Wilson Fernandez going to be coming in hot as he tries to get ahead of the quick Lamborghini. And then Eric Gazelle also following closely behind Abe Santama. It looks like Abe Santama has a bit of damage on the back, or at least a bit of damage. Yes, he does, as he's been in a big battle with the top five. Maybe Eric Gazelle will be able to take advantage of that. Take advantage of that diffuser damage. And get ahead of Abe Santima for a possible first podium finish, as Abe Santima will be defending like an absolute lion. Taha quietly moving up the grid. Indeed, he's up into 19th place from 32nd, so a very good job by him. But there comes Eric Gazelle. Oh, and he nearly made it on the inside, nearly made it too wide. But Johnny Manor, no, he's looking at this battle from behind, and he likes what he's seeing, because these guys will be slowing each other down bit by bit, and Johnny Manor will be able to pounce on them out of nowhere and get ahead quite quickly from what I can see. As Wilson Fernandez gets much closer to Rafif, and he actually gets ahead of them. And Par Bertol also getting close to Tom Bartels. And let's see if there's any retirements, and sadly there has been one retirement. I feel like it was Mohammed Irfan, as Mohammed Irfan didn't have the best of starts at all. And Eric Gazelle still trying to catch up to Abe Santima, who's made a mistake as well, and Johnny Manor is going to be able to get ahead of Eric Gazelle now as well. And Johnny Manor is going to be now in full sight of Abe's rear end. And that Honda, much quicker on the straight, will be able to take advantage of that, as they're going to come towards the straight finish line. And will Johnny Manor be able to get closer to Abe Santima towards turn 1, as Tommy Lydon sets another quickest lap time of the race, which is a 1:41.0. A very good lap for nearly a full tank of fuel. But there comes Johnny Manor. We can have a look from the inside. How much will he be closing? He's 4 tenths behind. He's now 3 tenths behind. And Abe Santima, well, he's got nothing to defend that Honda. Able to absolutely dominate on the straight line, and Abe Santima left in the dust. Yeah, absolutely nothing he could do. And Abe Santima actually making a massive mistake. He's in the wall. Did he catch it? Hold on. Did he catch it, or did he go in the wall? It looks like he might have just about scraped it, but Abe Santima anyway having a massive moment. Dropping down into 5th. He did hold it looks like. But might have scraped the wall on the side, and looks like he's got quite a lot of damage. Patrick Starr will be closing that gap to him, as well as we can now go to the midfield, as Wilson Fernandez still tries to get ahead of Limpar Berthold for 9th place, as Limpar Berthold is still locked in a battle with Tom Bartels. And oh, who is that in the background? I think that was Mohammed Bintang having a moment, as Abe Santima also having a massive moment. He is now being passed by Luke Mason and Patrick Starr. Will Abe Santima be able to go down the inside here into the chicane? And I don't think he's actually got much left off the car. The car is falling apart in front of our eyes. Sadly, yeah, he is just falling behind on pace. A lot of damage taken to the diffuser, the rear wing, and the diffuser very useful on this track with all of the click and fast and flicks and all of that. You need to be absolutely on your toes. There's just nothing he can do. Losing a lot of time on the straight to Luke Mason. He lost about a second on the straight. As now Eric Gazelle is getting close to the back of Johnny Manor, trying to fight for the final podium positions round the outside. Can he do this overtake? Eric Gazelle, hold on! What a move from the German driver. Absolutely great move, but Johnny Manor not having any of that, trying to go round the outside. But Eric Gazelle able to hang on pretty well here. He's defending the inside line. Johnny Manor and Eric Gazelle, never thought this be such a good battle, but Eric Gazelle able to get 3rd place finally as they head into Aqua Minerale. Super stuff by Eric Gazelle. Top-notch control as Wilson Fernandez and Limpar Berthold actually coming together, it looks like. Wilson Fernandez tumbling down the order. And there he is, actually standing in the middle of the track. And looks like they actually have retired from the race. So not too great for Limpar. Who was it again? It was Wilson Fernandez. Not too great for them, as they now have retired with critical damage. Yeah, his car is not doing too hot at all. Abe Santama now down in 7th place, as Leon Ken is getting very close to the back of Harry Clayton here as they try and battle into the chicane. We'll see how this one pans out throughout the race. As Camille Taha continues his climb up the field, he has moved up about 16 places so far in the 15 minutes. They're going 3 wide over there. Felix Palin, Lucas Van Dam, and Ferdi Jerry Ramadhan. It ended pretty well, actually, as Ferdi Jerry Ramadhan able to get ahead of all of them. But will Camille Taha maybe get 2 places here, as they're all locked in this massive train, trying to get ahead of Rogerio Santos, Michael Malashik, also trying to get the better of this. As Rogerio Santos having to slow down, he tried to overtake Lucas Van Dam into that corner. Next prediction, Taha to finish in the top 10. Well, I think that is a pretty safe prediction to make with the quick upfield moves of Camille Taha. He gets very close to Rogerio Santos. They don't make contact, but was forced wide by Camille Taha. And now Camille Taha coming under attack from Michael Malashek and Jan-Philipp Subay. As Patrick Slowick up in the front, battling with Tom Bartels, and Camille Taha falling a bit behind Rogerio Santos. Rogerio Santos making contact with Lucas Van Dam's rear end. And Camille Taha able to utilize his aerodynamic advantage, but it will all fall apart for him here, as his straight line absolutely awful. No, Camacho did not retire, no. It was Wilson Fernandez that retired. Camacho currently running in 27th place, so also not doing too great. But here comes Camille Taha down the inside. Can he try and have a look? And I don't think there was enough appropriate space in order to make a move. But Camille Taha now coming through the Porsche's couple of favorite corners, the quick flicks, as it does not have to slow down too much. Now Rogerio Santos, who is that in the background? I think that's Mohammed Bintang in the gravel ahead of Jan-Philipp Subay. Jan-Philipp Subay did start on pole position for the AMs, currently down in 5th or 6th actually, even worse, not having a great race himself, as Camille Taha continues to try and catch Rogerio Santos here, as Rogerio Santos is catching Lucas Van Dam as they come through Aqua Minerale. And Camille Taha, well, he can try and have a look on the inside here, but Rogerio Santos also trying to have a look on the outside of Lucas Van Dam. Oh, Camille Taha getting very close to Rogerio Santos. Now he's got the better exit. Camille Taha going to be able to go side by side. Michael Malashek over there having a moment through the chicane, and Camille Taha will have the inside line here to the double left hand, and Rogerio Santos giving up the position to that battle. And Camille Taha now up into 15th place, and will have Lucas Van Dam in his sights. As Jan-Philipp Subay also having a terrible day, tumbling down the order to 20th place. Yellow flags for them again. As Luke Mason and Johnny Mannering and Patrick Starr all in a bit of a battle here. Johnny Mannering actually falling down the order. He was in 4th place, and nearly making contact with Luke Mason as they come through that corner up into Aqua Minerale, down into Aqua Minerale they go. Johnny Mannering won't have enough space there in order to go side by side, but will he have the better exit out of Aqua Minerale? And to that answer, I think they did it quite similarly. Johnny Mannering, well, he'll be hoping to have a better exit out of this corner, and oh, the Honda getting all out of shape as Luke Mason now gets closer and closer to the Nissan. And that Mercedes probably a bit easier to steer than the Nissan. As now through the final couple of corners, Luke Mason will have the straight line advantage as he's got the slipstream, and he'll be following him pretty closely. We can have a look from the splitter camera. How close can he get? And actually it's not that much closer. We will be following as there is Jan Philips Sabine. Currently yellow flag, and Patrick Starr getting all caught up in that. Having a worse exit than Luke Mason. But Luke Mason is currently under attack from Johnny Mannering, already going side by side. And deciding to pull out last second. As Abe Santama having a bit of a battle with Tom Bartels. And it's not turning out great for Abe Santama at all and his championship dreams. But there it comes, Johnny Mannering alongside Luke Mason for the inside. Can he get the position before they head into the next corner? No, they won't. But they'll be going side by side as they come down into Aqua Minerale, who will have the better exit here. And it looks like Johnny Mannering will be ahead, and Luke Mason will have to settle for 6th place behind Johnny Mannering, as Johnny Mannering will try and hunt down Patrick Starr for 4th place. This race, you know what, the sprint is a much better idea than any other race. As Luke Mason getting closer to Johnny Mannering, as Johnny Mannering is getting closer to Patrick Starr. Patrick Starr actually getting held out by what looks to be Damon Boss. And Luke Mason also getting cut off by Damon Boss. It's Johnny Mannering. I feel like the straight line speed should be more or less a cheat code for him. We saw how he got ahead of Abe Santama, and maybe now we'll see how fast he gets ahead of the Nissan. And I think that Honda definitely having a straight line advantage. Just look at that. He's already gained a whole 10th, and oh, the Nissan of Patrick Starr moving from side to side. Not too many times as to call it illegal, but a bit too many to be gentlemen. Johnny Mannering, can he try and get alongside here? No, he won't. He won't be too desperate to get through that corner. But now Johnny Mannering, he got past Luke Mason after this corner. Can he do the same to Patrick Starr? As he's going to have his slipstream and the straight line advantage before they come into that corner. And can he make it side by side? Sadly not. But as they come down into Aqua Minerale, maybe then he can make it side by side, and sadly not for Johnny Mannering. But he is definitely quicker than Patrick Starr overall. He's about a second quicker than him, but falling behind after Aqua Minerale, having a very poor exit. And Felix Palin getting ahead over Rafif Prestia for 13th place. And Luke Mason can try and close the gap to Johnny Mannering as they continue to fight for 4th place. I wish I could be in this league. So much fun. Well, you could definitely join when you are free, and there will always be a space open for you, or for anybody who wants to join, as this season is coming close and fast to an end. But this battle is definitely not coming to an end, as Johnny Mannering still finding those critical 10ths as he tries to catch up to the Nissan of Patrick Starr. Boy, is this battle going to get much closer, as Luke Mason is also closing the gap. And Patrick Slowick able to get ahead of Tom Bartels. And while we were looking at this battle, Abe Santama down in 9th place and might be overtaken by Lampard Berthold. No, you said I couldn't join. Yeah, sadly. The registrations were closed by then. It's Johnny Mannering, 3/10 the gap. He's closer here than he was ever before, but he won't go down the inside because that is a very stupid move into the chicane, and I can definitely trust me with that. I've made a couple of moves into the chicane. They've never ended up good. It's Johnny Mannering, 3/10 the gap. Luke Mason falling a bit behind, and Johnny Mannering, can he try and get a better exit out of these left-handers, the double left-handers? That Honda pretty hard to steer correctly, but it's not hard to drive in a straight line, as Johnny Mannering will be taking advantage of the straight line. And can he try and go around the outside here, as Patrick Star will be squeezing him? Maybe Johnny Mannering can get a better exit here. Left, right, another left, and another straight for Johnny Mannering to try and get ahead of Patrick Star. And Luke Mason finally closing the gap as well, as these two are getting very close, and Johnny Mannering, I'm not sure if they had contact with Luke Mason, but nevertheless Luke Mason leaving a bit of a gap there as to not take advantage of Johnny Mannering's spin, because he feels like he was the one who touched him. But at least from what I saw, Johnny Mannering just kind of got a bit too scared from Luke Mason, and his car got unsettled. But now Luke Mason is brought into this fight, and Patrick Star can breathe easy as he's got a 4-second gap to Johnny Mannering behind him, and he can try and set off for Eric Gazelle. As Abe Santama now falls down to 10th place behind Lempar Berthold, and this is the first time he was behind an AM driver, as Patrick Slowick also gets ahead of Tom Bartels for 7th place. Very good move by him. And sadly, both Johnny Mannering and Luke Mason losing out about 4 seconds in this lap due to their little tussle into the corner. With Tom Bartels. His battle is not over with Patrick Slowick, as they are pretty similar on the pace. But Tom Bartels going out very, very wide. You called pro wrong, but looks like AM is in the bag. Well, for now it is definitely in the bag, as there is a whole, I'd like to say, 7-second, maybe 8-second gap to Rafif Prestia from Lempar Berthold, and also there's 3 cars in between them, so there definitely won't be at least a chance of Rafif catching, as he also has Lucas Van Dam for company. If I can find them, and there he is, as they come down towards Aqua Minerale. And Abe Santama also going very slow, taking out the white flag, and actually he is doing 1:48.6, so definitely very slow compared to his actual lap times that he's able to do. As Rafif makes a bit of a mistake, so does Lucas Van Dam, and behind them Mohammed Bintang, who's been lapped and is trying to unlap himself. And Abe Santama, well, he's just having a terrible race today. Another invalid lap. He has not set a single valid lap this race due to his outings in the wall, and that damage definitely losing him a lot of time, as now Ferdi Jero Ramadan able to overtake him on the straight as well. Behind him, Kamil Taha will follow pretty closely. Down the inside he goes. And I think this will be a pretty easy move. Camille Tar making contact with Abe Santama, and his race is just getting worse and worse. Oh, you have to feel for Abe Santama. He was definitely up to be on the podium today, at least in the top 5, and keep this championship battle alive. But Abe Santama falling down in 12th place. No contact there. Well, my app is saying different. It said that there was a bit of contact, so who knows? Yeah, it says that there was an accident into turn 1, so weird. Yeah, it definitely didn't look like it. But Lucas Van Dam and Rafif trading positions, as Mohammed Bintang did go off into the gravel over there, and currently 3 people disconnecting or retiring from this race, so only 2 more until my prediction comes true. Elias Bertram also locked in a battle with Dean Smith, who has done a very good job to move from 33rd place up into 21st place as well. So he has gotten 12 positions this race. And Rogerio Santos fighting with Ganahari Hutama, but that looks like that battle is over pretty quick, as Ganahari Hutama going off the track and into the gravel. And Elias Veshrum, yellow flag for them, and that is not a great place to be stranded as they hit the rear. Now down into 25th place, and they'll be getting lapped by Patrick Starr, it looks like, over there, and Camacho is going to be catching closely. With 15 minutes left to go, will anybody try and do some weird strategy call? Now, I doubt that anybody will be going for pits unless you're Abe Santama, who is tumbling down the order and doing a current 150.3 his last lap, but that was due to his collision with Camille Taha. Maybe we can have a closer look at the damage of his car, and that rear, yeah, barely hanging on. And he tries to complete his first valid lap. Maybe we can have a look on the splitter, and you can definitely see by the silver sprinkles that his front end is not doing too well. But at least the steering wheel is still straight, and he's able to drive the car at least on the track. But we'll definitely see how much slower he is with all this damage. His first valid lap time off the race. And it is going to be a 1:45.8, about 3 seconds slower than where he would have been, or about 2 seconds slower than where he would have been if he did not have this damage. And you can see how much it's affected him through those corners. But Johnny Mannering, who was done with Luke Mason, now he is trying to get Patrick Starr for that 4th place. And Johnny Mannering doing super well, as he did start in 9th place, now up into 5th and trying to catch 4th place. As Camille Taha also trying to catch 10th place, which will officially put him about 22 positions rise, which would be absolutely astronomical for him. So, good job by him so far. As Johnny Mannering tries to take the slipstream, but Patrick Starr also having a slipstream from the McLaren, and the McLaren also pretty quick on the straights, so Johnny Mannering won't be able to take advantage of his engine. Abe should have pitted as soon as the crash happened. He's losing 3 seconds per lap. Repairing would have probably been worth it by now. Well, we'll definitely see in the after race talks what his thoughts were and why he did not pit and why he thought that it's a good idea to stay out there, because currently he is also losing time to Rafif Prestia, and he is currently in 11th place, which will count towards his drop round, but it will make his second place streak also absolutely destroyed. And for all I know, Miko Raikola will take the current top spot at the championship after this race. Which, by the way, this championship battle has been very, very good. We've had Valentin Rusu on the top step. We've had Ben Langford on the top step. And we've had Abe Santam on the top step. And for the fourth race, we might have Miko Raikola taking the top step of the championship if the things continue as they are. Sadly, Valentin Rusu having to withdraw from this championship, so he won't be able to fight for it. Pittin would have given him try to claw back places, indeed, and it wasn't even that far. It wasn't even that far into the race that he actually had his crash. So it was about, I'd say 10 minutes. I'm not sure, but I'd say like 10 or 15 minutes into the race, he had his crash. He could have definitely, for the last 30 minutes, 11 minutes, okay. Definitely for the last 34 minutes, he could have been way up there. Trying to fight as Rafif Prestia, yellow flag for them, colliding with what looks to be Lucas Van Dam. But definitely for 34 minutes, he could have been setting his personal best and trying to claw back up. It would have set him back a long way, but definitely would have given him a chance to be a bit more competitive and not fall at such a high rate. And Camille Taha again passed by Ferdi Jerry Ramadan. It looks like Camille Taha actually made a mistake somewhere in this lap, as they were going yellow and now they're going with a white flag, and their lap time is completely ruined. They are doing 2 seconds slower this lap. Johnny Mannum though getting caught up by Luke Mason, 4/10 the gap. And that Mercedes, pretty suited for this track as well. Just like the BMW, able to take the curbs very, very well and able to attack them at utmost aggression. And Luke Mason still trying to catch up to the back of Johnny Mannum. They're doing similar pace, actually nearly to the exact 100th. Luke Mason going about 800ths quicker than Johnny Mannum so far last lap. And this lap as well, he might be going quicker than him. As they come up through the exit of Aqua Minerale, Luke Mason is 2/10 away from Johnny Mannum. He looks on the inside, he thinks twice about it, and maybe he'll try and get a better exit out of here, but looks like that's been spoiled for him completely. And Rogerio Santos, by the way, in the background, closing the gap to Abe Santam, and so is Lucas Van Dam. Not going too great. Luke Mason losing out a lot of time through the double left-hander, but able to get it back on the exit. And here, Johnny Mannum does not have the help of the slipstream, unlike Luke Mason, who does. And let's see how much he'll be able to close the gap. It was about 4/10. Can he try and get him on the inside? And well, he He's too far back to try and go for a move, but out of these corners, the right, left, right, right, left, right, yeah. No, the left, right, left. Having an internal battle myself. He gets a better exit as Johnny Manor makes a massive mistake over there. He goes wide. Or actually has a bit of a wiggle moment. And now on the inside, Luke Mason. Surely this is an easy move for him. But Johnny Manor will try and make it as hard as he can. And Johnny Manor on the outside. Can he try and maybe cut in front of him? And he does. Luke Mason has to settle for 6th this lap so far. Maybe into Aqua Minerale. Luke Mason can try and make a move. But it just won't be enough as Abe Santama now gets passed by another AM driver, Rogerio Santos. And Luke Mason now, can he try and go around the outside of Johnny Manor? And well, the gap is definitely starting to close down. As he's still having some issues coming through that chicane. And up into the double left-hander. Can he get way closer? And yes, he is getting closer. 3/10 the gap now. Johnny Manor definitely not having any sort of slipstream. And Luke Mason having the best opportunity here to get him into turn 1. Johnny Manor will be defending turn 1. Very big, massively. Yeah, Luke Mason definitely not able to get ahead there. Yeah, Ferrari strat indeed by Abe Santama. As now he's going to get passed by Lucas Van Dam soon enough. And Luke Mason now not able to take advantage of any problems of Johnny Manor. Johnny Manor learning from his mistake last time out. And Luke Mason, well, he's not going to be enjoying that too much because he's now losing time to the Honda. As there goes Abe Santama down into 14th place, and he's going to get passed by Ganahari Hutama as well for 14th place. He's going to send him down into 15th. And there's Luke Mason, yeah, consistently quicker than Johnny Manor in the third sector, or in the second sector, but not able to get ahead of Johnny Manor, as it is one of the hardest sectors to get ahead of another car, as Abe Santama now gets overtaken by Michael Malashek and soon to be overtaken by Ganahari Hutama, sending him into 16th place. This will be the lowest he's ended up so far in a race. And he might even get passed by Felix Palant at this pace, as Felix Palant, oh, and Abe Santama, yellow flag. He collided with 30 Jerry Ramadan, it looks like, and now, oh, well, now he's tumbling down the order completely. Down into 18th place. And he might be even out of the top 10 completely here. He might be in 13th place. Still going to get points, as he's not last for the Pro Split. So far, last person in the Pro Split looks to be Anthony Camacho, which is very unlucky for him. Definitely had a chance here, especially with his driving style, and definitely with the car that he's driving. He could have been way up there, but here is Anthony Camacho, and well, there is the answer to why he's so slow. He's got a ton of damage on his car, and same as Abe Santama, he did not want to try and fix it. And actually, I think I have a reason for why Abe did not want to pit. And that reason is quite simple. I don't think he cares about how many points he gets. I think he cares about if he gets points at all, as Jan-Philipp Sabet tries to go down the inside of Leon Ken into the chicane, and that is a great move by the Honda. Very, very good stuff, as there comes Tommy Lydon to lap these guys. And as I was saying, Abe Santama was saying earlier that all he needs today, and all he needs at all in this race, is to get points, as he does not want to be pointless when Ben Langford comes back, as Ben Langford is super close to him in the championship, only 3 points away from him. So Abe only needing to get a certain amount of points in order to be ahead of Ben Langford, but it looks like Mika Rakola will definitely take the top step of the championship after this race. So not sure what Abe's strategy here is, not sure what he really was trying to do, as we can probably have a look at Johnny Manham's last attempts to get ahead of Luke Mason. And actually Luke Mason did get ahead of Johnny finally. And you know what, your prediction of Camille Taha getting top 10, Gibson, is right on the edge. So well done for getting that prediction correct as well. So very good stuff, actually. Very weird that you got all of those predictions correct, except Abe Santama getting a win, which he is way down there. And Johnny Manham, well, are they going to be crossing the finish line now? No, they won't. This will be the final lap for Johnny Manham to try and get ahead of Luke Mason for 5th place. This will be a very good debut race for Johnny Manham if he's able to get into the top 5, but he's made a bit of a mistake coming out of those corners. And Tommy Lydon, and he's going to be coming across the line anytime now to take his first win of this season, and definitely not the last of them if he decides to continue racing in this season. And there he is, finally, the notification coming in. Tommy Lydon wins the race by 17 seconds ahead of Mika Rakola, who will be taking the top step of the championship, ahead of Abe Santman, ahead of Ben Langford. And Eric Gazelle will be taking 3rd place for his first race as well. As Johnny Manham tries to squeeze something out of here. Tries to squeeze the last tenths and maybe catch up to Luke Mason in the final corners, and that is very unlikely, as he is just going to have to settle for 6th. Still a very commendable race position, but definitely not the one that he would have wanted, and maybe he would have even wanted to be up there in 4th if he did not have that little moment with Luke Mason. But nevertheless, both Luke Mason and Johnny Manham finish in this race, respectively 5th and 6th. Only 3 tenths the gap between them as they cross the line. And yeah, GG Tommy Lydon. And well raced. Also GG to Limpar Bertol. Indeed, very good job by him, taking the top position. Off the AM split. Maybe we can see, well, we won't be able to see it now, but definitely stay tuned for any of the videos coming soon about this race. Might be maybe a interview between the drivers, so we can find out why Abe Santama decided to not pit this race at all. But it's been a pleasure commentating on this race, and it's been a pleasure having you all here. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you have a great next week as well, as there is going to be the big grid at Spa on the 26th of February, and there will also be the Brands Hatch 60-minute race the seasonal weekly race. But hope you all had a good time, and I hope